Okay, so today we are going to make this bracelet where we have an object that has holes in it and we are looping into that object, and then we have a simple knot here that is slidable to make it super tiny or make it very big so that your wrist fits. It can fit over your knuckles so that you can then slide it, and then when you put it on, you hold one side and pull, and now you have your lovely bracelet that you can wear. So let's get started. Here are a couple of the materials that we're gonna need. We need some 1.5 millimeter waxed cotton cord. I have a series of washers. Now the washer I used a kit that I can link below for stamping in words, etc., to be able to see there. And then I did a black marker, rubbed it off, and left the black inside the little grooves so that you can see the word just a little bit better. So these are just plain washers that you can get at a store. I'll put a description of what size and thickness these are, but those are just plain washers. We have a ruler because we are going to need to measure this cord. We have a pencil. I'll show you why we're going to use that in a little bit, and then of course a pair of scissors to cut the cord with. Okay, we're going to start with making our length of cord. So I'm holding it on the end and bringing it to 14 inches. 14 inches is going to be probably better for a smaller wrist. So that's one cord of 14, and we're going to do a second cord at 14 inches. There we go, right there on the 14. Gonna pinch it, cut it off. All right, let's move this out of the way. Now we have these two lengths of cord. What I want you to do is to hold the two ends together and then pull until you find the halfway point of this cord. So I'll show you here so you can see that's a halfway point. The tails match. You're going to take your washer, run it through, and then what you want to do is make sure you have enough room with this. This is called a lark head knot, and you're going to come around and pinch the ones that there's a tail for, and then I just run my finger through it and pull that tail out of it. As I pull on the tail portion, you're going to see that lark head knot pull all the way to the object itself. So now I've got a deal here, and so we're going to repeat that on the opposite side. We're going to take our length. We are going to put the tails together, pull this until we find the ends here, and then you can run it through. And I'll do the same thing where I'm pulling on it till I get enough length that I can put my fingers through, grab the tails, and pull the tails through. Then you're going to watch here the magic happen where we pull it tight to be able to embrace our charm. Okay, so now that we have that, we are going to do the slider bracelet portion of it. So what I want you to do is to pull the tail around and pull this other tail around, because what's going to happen here is we're going to create a loop around this top part so that we can then slide these to make the bracelet bigger or smaller. So the way that that's going to work, and I found that this is one of the easiest ways to do that, is to have a pencil ready. The pencil is to help you create the loop. So I'm going to take one side of this. Depending if you're left or right-handed, it might be easier for you to do one or the other. But I am lining up the string with the pencil. So I'm taking my two strands of the one side and I'm lining it up beside this pencil. And so I'm going to hold this set in place. And then I'm going to take this other portion. I'm going to start towards the end of the pencil, and I'm going to drop everything. That's what I'm going to do. Don't do that. Hold it in place. I've got the other set, so you can kind of see here I have the other side. I've got my ones beside the pencil. I'm going to go ahead and wrap I don't know if you can see, I'm wrapping this around. I'm gonna do 2 wraps of this set. And so you're gonna see I have, it'll end up looking like 4 little pieces here. Then what we're going to do is to slowly slide this off, pinching everything together as we go, which is the kind of the most difficult part of this, is making sure you've got it all together. Slide this off, keeping the loops. You can see there's we're inside of the loops. I still have these lovely dangly bits. But I'm gonna take the 2 shorter ones that are wrapped around and run them back through that hole. So I'm gonna do 1, and then I'm gonna take this other one and I'm gonna push it through as well. I hope you can see that. I know it's very dark. If I could get, and this is the most fidgety part of it, I promise. Is pulling that through. So now you can see I've got these 2 ends through. I'm gonna try to pull them a little bit more and pull them slowly to position this knot, because I want it to be kind of at the top end of this side. What I mean by that is I want to make sure that the bracelet here is wide enough that I could get my hand through it. So I'm going to hold on to these 2 tails and start to pull just a little bit on the one until I get it kind of tight. Now sometimes you're going to have to pull on each individual strand to let it do its like tightening job. Same with here, like you may need to pull in these little things. So we're gonna pull until it gets tight here. Whoa, see, that one's not. That's the slider knots, and that's the part you need to watch out for, is which ones belong to this long end and which ones are the short end. So we're just gonna pull until that knot is tight. But what you're gonna be able to see now is that we can pull on this side here, and let's see, we can pull on 2 of these and make it shorter. So we've now gotten it to where it can be very short, but when we pull on the knot itself to make it wider, you can see that the bracelet gets wider. Okay, problem numero 55. These, if you keep sliding, you're gonna slide it right off of these. So you need to make sure that you tie off the ends before you keep going. So I'm gonna pull until I've got enough thread to play with. This first one is gonna be really tricky because you don't get any extra. This is what you got to work with. So what you're gonna do is do your best to make a little mini loop. You can see right there. And then you want to run 1 little baby tail through it and pull that just a barely, and then get that teeny tiny little tail to come through as well. So we're gonna try to get it to come through for you. I know it's very finicky, and if you want to give yourself a longer length to be able to practice this, yep, I just broke my nail again. It hurts. Then you're gonna pull that through. Let's see if I can use my other pull. So now I have both of them through, just barely. Okay, and so you're gonna pull that tight and make that knot happen. I know it's very tiny for you to be able to see, but all I'm doing is tying off this this piece here at the end, because I don't want it to slide off through the end. And then once you have it, you can actually add some glue to this knot to keep it from coming undone. But what you're gonna do is go ahead and just snip off the end of it, and then we're gonna find the ones that are the sliders together. So these 2 slide together. You can tell that by the fact that they move the whole thing when I pull on them. So I'm gonna give myself plenty of room this time rather than what just happened there. But I still only wanna tie it on the very end. So you can go ahead and make your big loop and pull it through, but then I would recommend pulling the knot towards the very end of this set of cord so that you still have all of that room to make your bracelet. Again, you could put a dot of glue on that if you wanted, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off to make these little knots on the end of my cord. And now you're like, but Elizabeth, that's a baby bracelet. Yes it is. But all you have to do is pull on this, and now you have a large enough bracelet for you to be able to slide your hand through. And then for me, when I'm trying to put it on for myself, I will hold one side kind of like this and pull the other to make it, and sometimes you have to switch to find which one it is. Okay, now why are you acting a fool? And then you'll pull one side to make the knot slide down. There we go, there we go. So I'm just gonna hold on to that one and pull that until, now these won't necessarily match up anymore when it's underneath, but it's nice and tight on the top. And when you wanna take it off, I just pull on one side and it loosens it up, and now I can remove the bracelet. So it's a great way to do this. So anyway, I hope you enjoy.